To speed now on the stories you need to know to start off your Tuesday morning. Weeks after the remains of J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan were found on their stepfather's property, there's some new details coming out this morning. Police in Rexburg, Idaho executed another search warrant at Chad Daybell's home. It's unclear what they were looking for exactly, but they showed paperwork to Daybell's son-in-law, who has been living at the home. The bodies of J.J. and Tylee were found about 2 weeks ago on this property. Chad Daybell and his wife, Lori Vallow, remain behind bars. Today marks the 7th anniversary of the tragedy at Yarnell Hill. 19 Granite Mountain hotshots were killed while fighting a deadly wildfire near Prescott. Every single year, the 19 heroes who were killed are honored in Prescott along with the only survivor. There will be tributes today at several memorials around Prescott and in the town of Yarnell. An ongoing Senate investigation into the handling of the coronavirus will get one of its most high-profile witnesses today. We're talking about Dr. Anthony Fauci. He's set to testify, along with 3 other doctors. They're expected to be questioned about recent spikes and hotspots across the nation, as well as what the White House is doing to address it. And right now there is a recall, so take a good look here, for Pilgrims Pride chicken nuggets. It's because of reports of pieces of plastic found in the food. The 4-pound packages that were sold at stores in 4 states, including right here in Arizona. Right now, there's no reports of anyone getting sick, but as a precaution, of course, you don't want to eat plastic. Pilgrims Pride says you should throw them away. Now you're up to speed. Don't forget, you can always find the latest news. Just head to our website, 12news.com, or download the free 12 News app.